obviously, I've been told that billions of things have demons in them.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm assuming some of the things that I read out to you earlier
Mm-hmm.
might have demons in them.
Mm-hmm.
Like, pretty sure Ouija boards do.
Okay. So, like, for example, using that one, like, why would you say that?
Because every horror movie starts with one of them.
So it's got to be that. All right, but go on, take that further. Like, but what are you doing with a Ouija board?
You are talking to something.
Okay.
Yeah.
There we go. That's kind of where you're getting to. It's like, all right, so what makes that, for example, different than watching Star Wars?
Nothing.
They're both just demonic. Yeah.
There's a demon mask in episode 4. So
it's got to be the case.
Yes.
Okay. All right. So
and he talks.
All right. So I think when you get these lists, like the one you just read out loud and talked about all these different things, and the vaccine's got the demons in it, and
I mean, obviously, have you seen that thing? This is why. Okay, yeah, this is why I'm asking the question, because what?
Right.
How do I know? You're answering, correct?
Yeah, I'll answer.
Okay.
So, Satan's kingdom is a kingdom of darkness.
Okay.
So, thus, where there's darkness, that gives the power, for demons to dwell.
Okay, this is vague so far.
I know. So, but demons are found in darkness.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. They're found in sin.
Okay.
They're found in evil.
Okay.
And
so is talking to demons a sin?
Okay. If you're engaging with demons, like talking to them like they're your buddies, or you're wanting to inquire something of them, but not like, and so, for example, Jesus talking to the demons that are in, and they say, I am Legion, right? So let's say he's talking to Legion and he's talking to demons. That's obviously not a sin to talk to them.
Okay.
But
so Ouija boards are fine.
No, but hold on. Follow me with this. But Jesus understands that demons are they are in darkness. Okay. Jesus understands that there's no moral ambiguity with Jesus. Like demons, wrong.
Okay.
Demons, you phrase it as evil, like in the sense of lack. When I use that word, like the lack of the presence of God there, then, or absence of the presence of God. So when he's talking to him, he knows he is about to remove them from this individual.
Okay.
Because he knows they're tormenting, that they are the reason behind this individual's physical and mental problems. So he's going to cast them out.
Okay.
Yeah. And the same thing happens when he encounters a boy that has that cannot speak and he cannot hear. And Jesus cast out a demon, and he calls it a spirit, in the way the language is laid out in the scriptures, a deaf and dumb spirit, and he cast that spirit out. Okay. So again, Jesus is engaging with demons, but to get rid of them, to remove them. Okay.
So if I use a Ouija board,
and
summon a demon,
and
then cast him out, am I tying that demon up from messing with somebody else?
Okay.
Like maybe the Christians should get.
We all go buy Ouija boards?
Rooms of people to tie up all the demons so they can't mess with other people.
Yeah, but see, the thing is with demons, right?
Right?
You can, but here's the thing with demons.
It's like calling a company and tying up all their phone lines.
Right.
Right? No one else can call. Your wait time to be tormented by a demon is 20 minutes. Would you like us to call you back?
So you're just saying everyone needs to get a Ouija board.
Yeah.
Everyone just start talking to the demons just to occupy them.
Just to occupy them so they're not messing
Right.
other things up.
That sounds like a terrible idea.
Yeah.
All right.
All right.
So, because all right, the problem with the way that people are using Ouija boards on a normal basis for them, not hanging out with a demon to occupy their time, is because they're wanting, there's a intentional connection of wanting to, or intentionality of wanting to connect with evil, wanting to connect with something that is beyond ourselves.
Okay.
That's fine if you're wanting to connect with God, obviously, who's other than.
Mm-hmm.
It's a whole other thing when you're talking about demons.
So is there a Ouija board for God?
No.
Or is that the Bible?
But that's not the way God works.
Okay.
I mean, you just talk to him. You don't have to conjure him up.
All right. Anyway, so on the whole long list, Ouija boards, but how do I know about any of the rest of it?
And again, I think that's what goes back to the idea of darkness. So using the example of Star Wars, for example, using that.
Mm-hmm.
So here's Star Wars. And I think sometimes in these circles, sci-fi and fantasy have been lumped together or lumped with the demonic. If it's sci-fi, if it's fantasy, has to be demonic is the thought process. And I think that's just a stupid thought process because God gave us imaginations.
Okay.
He gave us the ability to imagine, to use our, ability to tell stories to convey a point.
Okay.
And so I think that, for example, in Star Wars, no one should be sitting there going, Star Wars is a Christian movie. Okay?
Okay.
Because I don't think anyone's saying, no one should be saying it's a Christian movie. However, I can look at something like Star Wars and say, but is it making a distinction between right and wrong, light and darkness?
Okay.
And what side, and if so, what side is being glorified? And so Star Wars is telling a story where there's literal light side and dark side, and I think it's telling a story of light is good, darkness is bad. That's not an inherently wrong story. Okay?
Okay.
And I think you find the same things in stories like that Tolkien wrote. You mentioned Lord of the Rings, that Tolkien wrote. Highly fantasy. But yet one of my kids is reading the Second Tower right now, or the Two Towers, excuse me. The Two Towers right now. And so I don't think there's a demon in the book my kid's reading that's in our house. It's just it's a story.
Mm-hmm.
And it's the same thing. It's like a story of good and bad. So I think if you go down that list, it's all right, is there darkness here? Or is there not? And that's too
vague.
That's one way to begin going down that list.
It's too vague.
Okay. What more specific do you want?
Because if I said, is there darkness here, I could just point to the space part of the Star Wars poster and be like, look, this is all black. That's pretty dark.
All right. So let me rephrase that.
Because that's what...
Right. But I think, okay, so let's
fast forward through all the Death Star parts.
Right. So I guess let's get to the idea of evil then.
Okay.
Quote unquote evil, right? Or quote unquote deception. Because I think one of the ways that demons end up influencing us is when we're living in unrepentant sin.
Okay.
And darkness is there. Then we're opening up doors. And I think there can be demonic influence there that's pushing it, right? And so I'm not saying the demon started the whole thing, but I'm saying the demons are encouraging the whole thing. Or not encouraging the whole thing, continuing to encourage you to stay or remain in that.
Okay.
Yeah, because you've just opened up that door. And so, Jesus talks about the fact that, Satan has nothing in him because Jesus never committed a sin, never done anything wrong, never had an evil thought. And so Jesus is perfect in that sense. So there was no open door for the enemy to come in and to begin influencing his life. Because I think what we have to really be where do demons lie? Demons lie when when we open ourselves up to things. Is it in that particular item? Probably not.
Okay.
Though it could be. I mean, if it's like something that's being worshipped, right? So like you mentioned everything Asian, right? And I think where people derive that from is the idea of the gods of Hinduism or the god of Buddhism, right?
Okay.
Or Buddha, even just that statue itself. And so I think that there's that sense of, all right, well, if it's those things, and I don't disagree in the sense of if there are things that are idols that are being used for worship, demons there. Like I wouldn't have those idols in my house.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because there's demons in them.
Because there could be demons in them.
Okay, so just list off some stuff that I might have seen or were on the list that you are for sure got the demons.
Okay. All right. We've already gone through Ouija board.
Okay.
All right.
So don't touch them. Don't play that.
Don't do that.
Okay.
No.
I mean, I already wasn't because.
Right. That's good.
That's how all of them start.
Okay. That's good. Yeah. And like mentioned, like we just said a second ago, like the idea of idols.
Mm-hmm.
Wouldn't be messing around with idols.
Do you want the list?
Yeah, give me the list.
All right.
Give me the list. Let me see this thing. Let me go through it.
All right.
Because you kind of overwhelmed me with the sheer number of things. All right. Records played backwards?
Yeah.
Not worried about it.
Okay. People were worried about that for a really long time, though.
They really were.
So
they really were.
It was a whole thing.
It was a whole thing. It was a whole thing of like, well, if I played this rock and roll music backward, like as if the rock and roll music that talked about drugs or sex to begin with wasn't problematic.
Wasn't demonic forwards?
Right. So
okay.
I don't know. Like, what are we even talking about at that point?
Right. Okay. What if you played it upside down?
Yeah. And I think it's like that.
What if you turn your record player to the side?
Well, and I think,
played it vertically.
Right. Well, hold on. But I think that ties though into sometimes when things are changing generationally.
Okay.
And the new thing seems to be what it becomes the demonic thing.
Like AI.
Right. Like if it's new, must be the devil.
Demons.
Right. As if people can't come up with new things unless it's inspired by the devil.
Right.
That's just foolish.
Okay.
All right. People with addiction or mental health issues, there are some individuals who are sick because there is a demonic reality there.
Okay.
But no, I'm not saying everybody. So I'm going to be clear on that. Not everyone who is physically sick or not everyone that has mental health issues has a demon.
Okay.
So, I got family members right now that have cancer. I'm not saying that they've got a demon in them. Okay.
Okay.
But do I also think that there are times where people have physical ailments because of the demonic? Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
All right. And then you get into like the list of like Pokemon and Harry Potter and Power Rangers and Star Wars and all that stuff. And again, I go back to the same thing. Like, is it glorifying evil or is it not glorifying evil? And I'm not going to sit here and tell you that demons are in like the
fantasy
books or the cards.
Things?
Yeah. But what I'm saying is I don't want to read something that's going to glorify evil.
Okay.
Okay. So I would chunk that. Houses, and I think that I'll be honest with you, I think that one of the best things you can do, you move into a home, pray through that house.
Okay.
I would. I'd pray through the house. And here's why. You don't know what was there before you.
Okay.
Yeah. You don't know what was worshipped there before you.
Right.
So I got no problem with that. Then you get into other things like, video games. And to me, video games falls in that same category. Is it glorifying evil or is it not?
So is the specific video game glorifying evil?
Yeah.
Okay.
But then I'm not even telling you that it's demonic. I'm just saying it's sinful. Don't watch it. Like, I think one of the things that we have to also understand is there's sins that are happening, right? We have the lust of the flesh, lust of the eyes, pride of life, as it says in 1 John. So these lust of the eyes, lust of the flesh, the pride of life. And John talks about it being, this is the stuff that's in this world. And so I think that's part of the problem too. It's like, we've gotten everything so spiritual that if it's evil or if it's wrong, it must be demonic. There must be a demon there.
Okay.
And all I'm saying is it could just be just evil, like, or sinful. It does not mean that there's a demon there.
Okay.
Sometimes it's just sin. And not every sin is like running around with a demon. So,
okay.
Yeah. And I don't want to go through all of these.
Yeah, don't.
I mean, it's just, oh my dear God.
Or do.
And, but talking about the generational thing, because like some of these, I'm looking at it and I'm like, so for example, like rap music.
Demons. No. It's new. It sounds weird.
All right. Got to be demons. But,
my kid likes it and he's not listening to Christian music, so it must be demons.
Right. But what's hilarious is, so for example, like, it was once thought that drums were demonic.
Yes, all of them.
Drums in church.
Yep.
Right.
Anything
with a rhythm.
Any music that isn't an organ or a harp.
Right.
That's on the list.
But we know that's not true. Like Scripture itself talks about playing cymbals and playing drums.
Well, they didn't read that part.
They didn't read the Psalms, apparently.
Nope. Those people were engaging with demons and didn't know it.
And so the reality is, it's like when you're looking at this stuff, this is why I think some of this stuff is just crazy to me. But then others of it, I get it. But again, that's why I think that's anything that's new. We have to just be careful, like, of just going, well, that's anime, it looks weird, or cartoon that looks weird. Lilo and Stitch. Stitch has got to be a demon. That's a weird looking guy.
Remember that one, yeah.
Right? And I think he's annoying too, but I mean, I'm not calling him a demon. And so I just think that there's
the Teletubbies.
Teletubbies were demons all day long. And so I just think that we have to be careful not to call everything demonic that's new, or everything that we don't understand as just that must be demonic. Social media. Well, it must be almost all of it must be demonic. Now I get it. There's a lot of
AI is literally a demon talking to you.
Right.
That's what it is.
But it's not.
Demons in the machine.
Demons are everywhere.
Okay, so
yeah.
Just to wrap it up.
Right.
Stay away from evil.
Stay away from evil, man.
Okay.
Let's keep this a little more simple than it probably, that we've made it.
Okay, so there's not demons in everything.
Right.
But there's just evil stuff.
Yeah.
To stay away from.
Yeah, and I do think if we keep engaging in that same evil stuff over and over and over again, we may be opening ourselves to demons.
Okay.
Yeah. And so if I keep watching porn over and over and over and over again, not only have I formed an addiction, but I probably opened up that door of a spirit of lust.
Okay.
Okay. And so I think that
which is an evil spirit.
Demon. Yeah, demon.
All right.
Yeah. When I say unclean spirit, evil spirit, demon, all synonymous.